Hi, this video is about November and December reads of 2024. In November, the first book I read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Actually, this is a feel good book. This book is about the time travel, and before the coffee gets cold, we have to come to the present. That is the main concept of the book. I knew from the description of the book, the real the real curiosity was when I read those rules in that book. The first rule was you can't change the past, but we have the default idea that if it is a time travel, then we have the access to change the past, but it's not going to happen in this book. And the second rule is also we can travel the time, but we always end up in the cafe. And if you want to meet a person, then the person definitely come to the cafe at that particular time. Okay, a lot of people not going to try to travel the time because they may be never before come to the cafe. After reading 2 3 and 4 5 rules, I thought that what's really written in this book. And maybe there are 4 to 5 short stories between husband and wife, mother and daughter, sisters. Actually, I forgot the other one, but anyway, little stories gave a lot of meaning, and I really very feel good about reading this book. After all those rules, every short story, actually every story, touch our heart within some level. Basically, I am not like short stories, but anyway, this book is really very feel good for me. If you are reading this book, it's not going to waste your time. I think I feel not disappointed to reading this book, but I feel it's something good in me after finishing this book. It's really very feel good book. The second book I read was Women. Actually, I get this book recommendation from all the social platform like YouTube, Instagram, Goodreads a lot of time, and for a long period of time I am getting this recommendation out of something because I didn't have any TV off or at that particular time, so I just started reading this book. But I know that this book is about women becoming a hero. I think that is the main story of the book, but that's not the full story of the book. At first, the heroine, she want to become a hero, so she goes to the war field. And I like that particular war field because there is no so much of cruelty in this book, but we can feel the pain, and we can feel their responsibility, feel their patriotism toward their country. I feel a lot of things at that particular point. I like the most that which happens in the war field. But after that, heroine actually going into the depression mode because after the war, men are treated like real heroes. Uh, all the people taking care of the men, but they are not even consider that women also participate in the war. After facing a lot of trauma in warfield, every military man getting the psychiatric counseling, men getting a lot of things like they are becoming hero, they are get recognized, but women are not like that. After that, she literally becoming very very low. In every step she takes, she is falling down again and again. At last, she understands that the most problem is she is not recognized for her effort in warfare that make her life more vulnerable, more it's make her more depression. I think major part of the books concentrate on how the women suffer after the war, and they are really not recognized. But after 7 or 8 years, how they become united, and how they become overcome that depression, that unrecognized situation. This is the whole story of that book. After reading the book, I felt that we can go a lot of things which we cannot expect it, but anyway, we have to overcome it. This is the 2 books I read in the November, and December I read 3 books. The first book itself very very super book. I came upon a lighthouse by Chantanu. Yeah, it's right. Ratan Tata's best friend at his last days of his life, and I actually want to know Ratan Tata. That's why I started reading the Chantanu book. But after crossing 10% or something, I myself felt if I have the chance to meet a celebrity or to spend time with celebrity, how my mind going to be feel that the real thing happened in this book. He is a very normal middle class boy getting a celebrity as his friend. This life is going to be very very difficult. We have to be very humble, and we don't take advantage because of that celebrity friend. And I think I really like the beautiful relationship between them, and also Chantanu, because in very early age he take initiative to save the street dogs. Actually, this book is very very superb, and I am going to give this book 5 stars. And I became a fan for Shantanu instead of Ratan Tata sir, because I actually start reading this book because I just want to know Ratan Tata, but instead I get a chance to know Santanu. Not only Santanu, if some person, you or me, I don't know who we are, but if someday we have the chance that to spend a time with that big celebrity, or do we really use that opportunity very well? uh, it's really a big question, but Chantanu did it very well, and I really like Chantanu and his book. And also I have the insight about how the Tata group working, how the Tata working, uh, how is Tata, a lot of things I'm getting from there. And the second book I read in December was another TikTok book. I just want to get out of the reading slump. That's why I choose to read some book talk book tomorrow and tomorrow. This book get a lot of similarities with A Little Life. I myself felt like that. I think this book is going to be a love story, but at the end the hero and heroine is not actually not falling in love. Yeah, there is no perfect sentence for them to fall in love. And other than that, the full story is based on game. They are actually hero and heroine, the two people together building a game, PlayStation, or that 1980 or 1990, yes, 1990s they are making a video game. This book mostly concentrating on the game, and also the hero and heroine constantly getting into misunderstanding. All the three people joined and create a unfair game production where they actually creating video games and also I personally learned that how the people starting a business from the very small room to a big office. It's really very amazing for me to see that growth, and three different people with the three different skills, and together they create an empire. Like every classics, this book is also have some ups and downs. The heroine's also facing some problem, the hero also facing some problem, and at the 80% of that, after that book, there is some, yeah, like twist also happening. But and after that, the third book I read was, actually it took me for 10 days to finish this book, Man's Search for Meaning. Actually this book is recommended for all the people who are starting beginner. For me it's really very very difficult after reading so many books. I don't know how they are suggesting this book to beginner, because mostly this book is written by a doctor, so a lot of terms I didn't know the definition. First of all, I'm not very comfortable reading English, and the second part was a lot of things in the medical term. It's very difficult for me to understand, and there are two parts of the book. I think major part is happening in the concentration camp, and he is describing like 3 stages. Actually it's really hard for me to continue the books. This book is mostly about spiritual things, because we are actually talking about the meaning of the life. Okay, I'm always comfortable reading spiritual books, but this book is make me it's not easy for me to understand the medical term and understand the way of his writing. But anyway, I completed it, and it's really very very good. And the second part of the book, it's really very easy to understand for me comparing to the first. But first, and moreover, this book is not a novel, it's a documentary. I thought this is a novel. It's anyway, it's my mistake. In my part, this is my mistake. But anyway, this is more like a documentary, Man's Search for Meaning. There is a lot of insights in this book. Maybe it's not easy for me to understanding, but each and word speaks a lot. And overall, I learned from this book. Not only I learned, I just want to share it with you too. That suffering also have meaning. In in these days, we are not happy about suffering. At the end, I really want to share it with you too. Is suffering also have meaning? Suffering is also for our good. You can read the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I think that is the where I actually suffering also, and that is the book where I actually convinced that suffering also have meaning. Don't think suffering means unhappy. Maybe suffering also happy. When we fall in love with someone, we are actually suffering, but that is the love, and that is the place where we really very happy. So at some level, when you are trying to get your job, or when you are trying to get a good marks in your exam, you are going to be suffering, but at that suffering also you are going to be very happy. Okay, these are the 5 books I read in last 2 months. I This is very slowly for me, this last 2 months. Okay, bye. We can see in another video. Bye.